guys, it's Serial Deborah, student, singer, songwriter, everything else in between. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. I think it's been like a good 2 to 3 weeks since I've properly been like, invested in the channel. I'm so sorry. I had exams and your girl's got to get that degree. So it's okay. We're back. And this has been a video that you guys have actually requested for a long time. Always wanted to talk about the Vampire Diaries on my channel, but like I wanted to know what you guys wanted first. And a long time ago I asked for this, and then I re-asked for this like 2 weeks ago as well. And you guys said you wanted the video. Let's talk about it. First, I wanted to keep it strictly to the Vampire Diary because otherwise, if we look at the whole TVD universe, including the originals and legacies, we're going to be here for a long time. But I thought it would be a fun idea to sit down and talk about them, but not just talk about how handsome they are, talk about the fact that these men are actually criminals. These men have committed crimes against humanity, and I think it's time we address it and we talk about it and we rank it, because why not? So get your popcorn, get your water, get whatever you need to tune in with me, Periana, and let's get into this video. And that's that, period. So the tier ranking list goes. Top tier is Sweet Baby Angel Hanban. I feel like all of these men have committed crimes, but the difference is that why did you commit the crime, and can it be excused? Do you know, or can it be justified? If you know, you know. Sweet Baby Angel Hanban is not necessarily that the guy is innocent, but it's more like, okay, you committed murders, but you're not like a weirdo sadist. You just had no choice. Like, you're still top tier. I can justify your crimes. I can excuse your crimes. Honestly, you're not a bad person. It was just these circumstances that were sprung against you. The next tier is redeemable, and you're trying, and I love that. Okay, so you definitely had some moments where I gave you the bombastic side eye, but honestly, you're trying your best. You're trying to redeem yourself, and I love that for you. It's the barest minimum, but still, you're trying. Then the middle tier is meh, or murderer, but I honestly don't care. I feel like there's some characters, there's some men that I just truly, like, you're a murderer. I know that, but I don't really care. I feel neither here nor there. I don't care what happens to you. I don't care. The next tier is you deserve jail, but death is optional. So this is for the people who are close to deserving death, but almost there, but you should be in jail. You should be in prison. You should not be allowed to roam the streets. Do you deserve the death penalty? No, of course. But at the same time, I feel like you shouldn't be outside. Like, you shouldn't be able to interact with supernaturals or human beings, in my personal opinion, period. And then the final bottom tier is choke and die. I said what I said, I meant what I said, and I said what I meant, period. You can go take yourself outside and choke. Okay, well, without further ado, let's start. I'm so excited. Okay, so the first person we're gonna tier rank is Silas. Oh, choke and die.
Electric chair.
Choke and die immediately. I don't care for Silas. I don't care to know about him. I never cared for him when he showed up. I don't care about his weirdo ass love story with Amara and Ketsia. Like, honestly, the fact that he's a cheater. Ew. But also, Silas literally was the catalyst for so many people having to sacrifice themselves for him to come back. Like, Silas has been alive since, quote unquote, the beginning. I think even longer than the originals, because he says, like, in his story, that was the first time he had immortality, but at the same time, he wasn't a vampire. He was just immortal. So I don't know. There's some inconsistencies with the TVD world, especially towards like the 5th to 8th seasons. There's some like things that they had to recall back. But if he is older than the originals, that means my man has been causing havoc before Klaus Michelson? No. Absolutely not. Also, I didn't like his character. I thought he was annoying. And frankly, like, he's killed multiple people over many different years. He's been the cause of different torment for many, many years. I mean, he literally did not care about killing Bonnie's father. And not to say any of these men really care about doing anything, TBH, but like, no, he just needs to choke and die. Sorry. Like, when he was on the other side, I think it was in season 5, and he got yeeted, I was like, yes, get off my screen. Next up, we have Alaric Saltzman. So this is where I will separate actor from character, okay? Because I feel like we need to, because if you guys don't know about the controversy that happened with Legacies and some rumors about the man who plays Alaric Saltzman, then you don't know that you need to know. But basically, let's focus on Alaric himself. I think Alaric was just always kind of like a dad character to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like he was just always there. Like, he was at the beginning of TVD, he was very much like the father figure for Elena, kind of pseudo, and then he became Damon's best friend, and I felt like that was useful. And then he kind of got married to Jo, and I was like, okay, I like that for him, but at the same time, I never really cared about him. Is he a murderer, though? No. I personally feel like Alaric belongs in the meh tier. That's why I put slash murderer, because you could be a murderer in this tier, but honestly, I don't even care if you are or you aren't. I just personally feel like Alaric, I don't think he ever really murdered anyone with malintent. I think when he was a vampire and he was a vampire hunter, he was down to kill people. But outside of that, like, yeah, it's not really giving anything. I don't really care enough to remember. Sorry. He's going in meh tier. Out of all the people who are fans of the Vampire Diaries and I have discussions with them, I have literally never heard anyone be like, oh, I love Alaric. He's just always given dad vibes. But anyways, let's move on. The first ever original that we're going to mention here. One of my favorite originals, Elijah. Okay, listen. I love Elijah Michelson. I know because everyone loves Klaus, but when Elijah Michelson, especially when he was in the first few seasons and he had that like suit and then he kind of had that like interesting 90s haircut on his head, which was a debatable moment. I still really liked him. I liked his energy. I liked how suave he was. He just gave something different. You know what I mean? Like he would just come to my door, sweep me on my feet with flowers. Like that was the energy it gave.
And I don't wanna get nasty. What you waiting for?
However, I will say Elijah is very much a murderer. I think the only difference is between him and Klaus is like Klaus revels in the fact that he's the bad guy and Elijah just does it because he has to. But at the same time, Elijah has committed a lot of murders. Like, remember in the first season where it was so easy for him to kill off Rose's brother, just like bam?
Where was your loyalty? I beg your forgiveness. So granted.
You know what I'm saying? Like, damn. Also, I have to mention that there is a website that actually talks about how many homicides and murders the TVD characters have committed. However, it's not very structured because it's a very, it's an older site. But in one of the charts, they mentioned how many vampires have committed, hundreds of homicides. And Elijah's name and Klaus's name are in them, okay? So if I'm going to be fully fair, this is not a tier ranking video on how amazing they are. This is a tier ranking video on their crimes against humanity. And honestly, Elijah does deserve jail. He does deserve jail. I love him. I do. But at the same time, there's a lot of times where he just committed murders to either protect his... I don't know. The thing is, I could sit here and argue that he committed a lot of murders to protect his family and protect the Michelson name. But to be honest with you, there were some times where he didn't need to commit murder. There were some times where he didn't need to do that. He does deserve jail. He does. I love him. But this is not about how much I find him attractive. He does deserve jail. He's not a sweet baby angel hunbun. But I do love him. But yeah, jail time. Sir, for your crimes, please. The next one, Kai Parker. Choke and die. Choke and die. I know the actor who plays Kai Parker is an attractive actor. In fact, I think I saw him in another show. Was it Supergirl, if I'm not mistaken? I know he's a handsome man, okay? But Kai Parker? No. Absolutely not. I never found Kai Parker attractive. Kai Parker is a sociopath or at least a psychopath. He has to be one in between. In fact, I disliked Kai Parker so much. There was a scene in season 6 where he was eating in front of Elena after he kidnapped her to, run experiments on her, right? And so he's eating eggs. And I know that in film and in TV series, they actually do that where they have the villain eat or drink something that naturally to you would have been perfectly okay to eat. But when they eat it, they have certain sound effects so it sounds disgusting. Same thing with when villains drink milk, right? It's such a primary thing. But at the same time, it icks you out. And when he's eating the eggs, it just, no. I don't like Kai Parker. The fact that he was willing to kill his little brothers and sisters, it's not even jail, it's actually death. And I was glad when his character disappeared for a hot second. I was like, yes, please get him out of here. He's a nuisance. Next up, I actually forgot his name. Finn. It's Finn Michelson. because he was in the Vampire Diaries, like I have to include him here. But honestly, actually, I don't think Finn really committed any murders, like, well, compared to his brothers like that. I wouldn't be surprised, because they still had to like drink and feed on people, but he didn't want to be a vampire, so like But the thing is like we never got enough of Finn Michelson, for me, enough to care about him to see whether he was redeemable or not. Like, I also thought that he was just way too old to be one part of the siblings. Like, I don't know how old the actor originally was, but when you look at Elijah, Klaus, and Rebecca, and even Cole, and you get Finn, I'm like, are we the same DNA? Like, what's going on? He doesn't, I don't know why. If the showrunners had chosen somebody who looked more like around their age range, it would have worked and I would have cared more. But Finn always was just like, it just threw me for a loop. You know what I'm saying? I honestly don't care about him. I don't care to know about him. I don't care enough to know about him. So he's going in the meh category. Next up is Jeremy. Ooh. I mean, Jeremy has definitely killed other vampires, and I mean, that still counts as a murder. But I mean, again, we have to look at it as if we're murdering people or if they're murdering supernaturals, you know? Everyone on this list has killed, right? But the difference is that, like, with him, I don't hate Jeremy. I don't hate him at all, actually. In fact, you know, he kind of grew on me. I care a little bit about him more than I do Alaric and Finn. But I don't want to put him in I'm redeeming, trying, and I love that. Like, he's still kind of meh to me. I don't know. I feel like meh category is where it's at. But he was cute. He was cute. And, like, he had a little thing with Bonnie, you know, and he really did care about Bonnie, which I really liked. So, yeah, he's going to be meh for now. Okay, next character that we have off is Cole Michelson. Okay, so this is gonna be a fun one, right? Because we're sticking it to like the TVD world. We're not talking about legacies. We're not talking about the originals where Cole becomes a better person. We're just sticking to the Vampire Diaries, because Cole in the Vampire Diaries was a fucking menace to society. He was a menace to society. And the only reason I ended up kind of liking him was when he got better in the spin-offs. But this is not the spin-off. So we're dealing with like OG Cole that decided to just be an asshole for no fucking reason. No, he deserved to choke and die. He deserved it. He deserved it. He's handsome. Don't get me wrong, but honestly, choke and die. Like, this is nothing to the actor, of course. I don't know the actor personally. But the character can go choke. Sorry. Next up we have on the list is Matt Donovan. With Matt, like, Matt at the beginning of the show was actually quite adorable to me. Like, he was, you know, he was the side character, but it was like, like, you know, shame, poor Matt, you know? But then as he became a cop and a police officer, like, I just, you know, did he also murder anyone? I don't think he really did. Did he? I think he definitely was helping to bring down other supernaturals, but I don't think he really killed anybody like that with his bare hands. So no, he's not a murderer. He doesn't deserve jail, but I don't really care about him like that. So we're gonna put him middle category. I'm sorry. When I ask people, again, who are your favorite TVD characters, I have never heard anyone say Matt. Never. I've heard a few Jeremys. Never heard of Matt. Next person that we have on this list is actually someone that was a minor character, but I want to bring it up because I find it so entertaining. It was in season 5. His name was Jesse, and I don't know if you guys remember him, but I fucking do because I just rewatched the whole entire show. Jesse became a vampire because he was being literally experimented on at Whitmore College, and he was super fine. He was super fine, and I feel like he just got killed, just like a lot of other black characters in the show, for no fucking reason. We could have had him be an alternative love interest. We could have had him do something, but my man just got killed, and he was damn fine. Now, obviously, because he was wired to kill other vampires, I mean, Elena and Caroline were also training to try and help him, and he was really like trying to be a part of that before he got killed. So I'm gonna put him in sweet baby Angel Hudbud. Like, I know it's also because of my bias because he's attractive, but he hasn't really killed anyone. He did nothing wrong. He was just a really cute guy that Caroline had a crush on, and so did we. Okay, he was just a fine man. So that period, like, he was a sweet angel baby Hudbud. And I feel like if he had gotten the chance to just like learn about what being a vampire was and how to control his urges and all of that, like, he was really into Caroline still, like. This is the most giggly I've ever been on my channel. He is so fine. Okay, let me move on. So the next person I wanted to talk about is also like a Michelson adjacent, is Marcel. So I think this is back in season 4. Marcel gets introduced in the Vampire Diaries to be a backdoor pilot to the originals, basically. And I know his character in the originals, and I mean, I have some griefs with him personally, but like in the Vampire Diaries TV show, he was just ruthless for no reason, and he killed that witch's sister because he has to quote unquote maintain like whatever weird thing he has in New Orleans. And I was just like, honestly, I don't know, his character in the Vampire Diaries deserved jail. I'm sorry, like it just wasn't giving like that. I didn't like him. He was weird then. It's only the originals that made me like him, so we're gonna put him in the you deserve jail tier. Death is still optional, but definitely jail time because you needed some. So the next person we're gonna talk about is Tyler. Thing is, beginning of the season, hated Tyler. Then he got with Caroline, and I was like, okay, we kind of low-key love Tyler. Like, it's fine. He's with my girl, Care. We're not really judging that. We're judging how many murders he's committed. Tyler's definitely committed homicide because, of course, he needed to kill someone to activate his curse. I don't think he deserves jail. I honestly think that Tyler is in the tier of redeemable and trying, and I love that because he was trying. He was trying to become a better person. He got with Liv, tried to self-sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? Like, he did try. Sometimes he did get on my nerves, but he was trying. And I love that for him. So he's going to be the first one on that tier. Next person I wanted to talk about was Enzo. So Enzo, at the beginning when they showed his relationship or his friendship with Damon, and they were both in like the Whitmore cells together, I really did like Enzo. I liked his vibe. But when he got out, he really did become a menace, and I didn't like him for a long time. In fact, the only thing that kind of made me like Enzo was Bonnie, and the fact that he became redeemable through Bonnie. Pre-Bonnie Enzo, I was not. And pre-Bonnie Enzo committed murders. He did. Remember when he killed Stefan's girlfriend, like pseudo girlfriend, after Damon went into the prison world with Bonnie, and they all thought that, you know, that he was dead. And Stefan had this like girlfriend that he didn't really tell anything about his life to. And then Enzo decided to kill her, although because he hurt Caroline's feelings, but still, no. But towards the end of his life, he was trying to become redeemable. And he redeemed himself through Bonnie and self-sacrificing himself, like a lot of the times for Bonnie, putting Bonnie first. That's what we love to see. So I feel like that is partly excusable, and that's why I'm going to put him in redeemable and trying. And I love that. He was very close to choking and dying, but because of Bonnie, he shot right up. Okay, the next person we're going to talk about is Mason Lockwood. I think that's his name, if I'm not mistaken. So Mason Lockwood was, I think, in season 3 of the Vampire Diaries, or season 2, if I'm not mistaken. And he was Tyler's uncle. He unfortunately met Catherine, and that became, you know, his final end. But while Mason was alive, he must have committed homicide, because I don't think he intended to kill the person that he killed too, and which eventually unlocked his werewolf curse. But at the same time, like, he was really just trying to be a redeemable guy, and he was just unfortunately in love with Catherine, and Catherine was just a mastermind planner like that. I liked him. I thought he was cute. I also thought that he was trying to just be redeemable and just make his girl happy. So we're gonna put him in redeemable and trying, and I loved that for him. Unfortunately, he had to pass, but you know, tomato tomato, I guess. Okay, then we have the final trifecta of men that we need to talk about. I feel like I'm missing a few men somewhere along the line. You guys tell me down in the comments below, because these are all the men I cared to remember. Damon Salvatore and Stefan Salvatore are both murderers. I want you to know that for a fact right now. Humanity off switch, humanity on switch. Damon Salvatore was a fucking menace even when he had his immunity, okay? Let's not forget that. All right, look, I know he eventually did redeem himself with Elena and with Bonnie, which is the only reason I started to like him, but Damon Salvatore is a murderer, okay? And that's why I put him on the trifecta of the Klaus, Damon, Stefan train, okay? I personally didn't want him to choke and die. I don't. But he definitely deserved jail. Just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He deserved jail. He did deserve jail. He's definitely committed some questionable acts. He's very selfish. And he's committed mass murders. He's committed mass murders and mass homicides. So, yeah. He does deserve jail. I know we like him now, but he does deserve jail. And this is ranking them against their crimes against humanity. So I have to be fair in litigation. And this is a criminal trial, so he's gonna get criminal treatment. He deserves jail. Now let's move on to his brother, Stefan Salvatore. Stefan has also committed mass murders, but I think the only reason why he gets away with it is because like he doesn't own it as much as Damon decided to own it, right? Damon also could have been in the redeemable and trying, but Damon at times would be redeemable, but then like he would just go back to being like, fuck it, I don't want to do that here. Whereas Stefan was constantly on that uphill battle / climb. Like he really had an addiction problem, if you think about it. If you use the metaphor for being addicted to blood, like for his bloodlust, like he was technically under addiction, versus Damon, who just did it for funsies. So, but at the same time, like Stefan has mass murdered and committed mass homicides and literally wrote down the names of people when his humanity switch was off. When his humanity switch was on, he still committed crimes. I don't know, but I feel like his attitude towards this is a very big thing. There are a lot of times where he didn't really intend to kill somebody, or he at least tried not to. But like the world of TVD is so messy, like you can never get away scot-free without hurting somebody. So if we're gonna use that as a measure of context, and he does deserve jail, but he's also really redeemable. I'm gonna put him in redeemable and trying. He's gonna go in redeemable and trying. I feel like his attitude towards the whole thing was very different. Redeemable and trying, for sure. Final man on our list is Klaus Michelson. I can hear the Klaus girlies in the comments right now. Typing. Girly, relax, okay? Listen, I have some controversial opinions on Klaus Michelson. Look, he was lovely to Caroline. Okay, and honestly, him and the therapist girly in the original series were also quite cute. But Klaus was a hot fucking mess. He was, and the only reason that we partly liked him is because of how nice he was to Caroline, and that was it. Because if you remove the whole Caroline thing, Klaus was a mass murderer, committed mass homicides, a serial killer, actually, just like Damon and Stefan, actually. Klaus, let us not forget, drowned Tyler's mom because he was angry. He literally took Stefan, made him switch off his humanity, which made him break off a whole entire relationship, then took him around the world to literally serial kill to find answers for fucking his hybrids, whatever. And also, he's an original, which means he's been killing longer than everybody else on this list. Yeah. I wouldn't say choke and die, but he definitely deserved jail. He definitely deserved jail. And there were some moments where, like in the original series, he would be like incarcerated or like imprisoned. And I actually thought, you know what? This is a good option for you. This is a good option for you to sit down and think about your life. He does deserve jail. He does deserve jail. I'm sorry. But anyways, that is the end of this video. I don't know. You guys tell me down below how you personally feel about all these men. Don't get me wrong. I still love them. Okay. I'm still reading the fan fictions and kicking my feet up at night. Like, don't fucking get me mistaken. But the truth is, I had to be a good legal civil servant. This is Miss Oladele's criminal court. You can't have these men slipping. I'm sorry. Like, I needed to hold them accountable for their crimes. And I feel like a lot of people, like, we just glance over the fact that literally so many people have died in the Vampire Diaries. Like, sometimes I'll be watching the show and I'll just realize how desensitized I've become to how many mass murders that have happened in this show. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I have more videos coming up, hopefully this week. But until then, see you guys later. Stay cute, stay blessed, and I'll see y'all later. Okay, bye.